guys, next update for Pierce's route and also the assembly events, because we're going to be stuck in them for a while. So there's no response here, it's changing scenes, and then she doesn't have a response to what just happened. She's like, he's terribly unsuited to be the facilitator, and she's talking about Nightmare here. She's like, hey, D, dumb. ... no reply. She's like, huh? Question mark? She's like, oh? Question mark? Where did D and dumb go? And trailed off. She's like, when I try to talk to them, I notice that they are gone. And what is it that they're, like, is it that they're lost? Question mark? I feel like they weren't there when I entered the conference hall, though. She's like, after a long pause. I'm sure you're playing dangerous games again, she told herself. And although they look young, they are the twins who are the gatekeepers of the mansion. She's like, even if you're worried, don't worry about those people. Well, ... whatever they are doing, they will be fine. She's like, thinking of that kind of thing is a gloomy thing, and it's going to dim me down or bring me down. She has no reply at first to her own statement. And then the scene changes. He's like, so after a long pause, don't be absent during the period, ... And he's telling the assembly members, which is all of the roll holders, Nightmare. Keeps trailing off, though. He's like, please do your best, good luck. To Nightmare, Gray told him. She's like, sloppy. Somehow the opening greeting was over, though. She's like, well, ... It was a dignified opening, because they followed Gray's, like, script. She's like, I wasn't sure if it was an opening ceremony, though. An event changed again. She's like, the opening greeting ends in this shape, and the attendees start chatting individually. She's like, noisy there, noisy here. Changed again.
Yo! Nightmare! 今回主催者なんだって。大変だな。
Elliot's like, Nightmare! Exclamation mark. Are you the organizer this time? Question mark. It must be hard. ... And trails off.
エリオット、久しぶりだな。
He's like, Elliot! Exclamation mark. It's been a while.
まあ、久しぶりだ。最近夢で会わないじゃないか。元気にしてたか？
Elliot's like, oh yeah, it has been a long time! Exclamation mark. You haven't met me in our dreams recently. Are you doing well? Exclamation mark question.
夢？夢か。君の夢はオレンジ色の夢ばかりだからね。さすがに飽き飽き。
He's like, dreams, or do you mean your dream, ... which is only an orange dream, and trailed off. And then after a pause, he's like, so you just get bored with it, ... and trailed off again.
と、そんなことよりも、久しぶりに夢から出てきたんだ。飲みにでも行かないか？
And then he's like, more important than that, exclamation mark. I came out of my dream after a long time, so can we go for a drink, question mark?
いいぜ。吐血して酒を赤くしないならいつでも歓迎だ。どこに行く？
He's like, Elliot to Nightmare. He's like, okay, well, if you don't vomit and red in your drink, you're always welcome. Where are we going, question mark?
オレンジ色じゃない酒を飲ませてくれるところならどこだっていいぞ。 どこに行こうか。
Nightmare's like, where can I drink non-orange liqueur? Question mark. Where should I go? Where should I go? Alice is like, Nightmare and Elliot seem to be on good terms, and it's an unexpected combination.
お疲れ様。
Blood's like, ... from the background. Thank you. Probably because he doesn't have to deal with it.
お久しぶり。
Gray's like, on another note, oh, I haven't seen you for a long time. Talking to Blood.
いつもうちの部下が世話になって。
It translated a little weird, but I got, oh, well, by the way, my subordinates always took care, and Blood trailed off there.
いえいえ、こちらこそ。うちの上司がご迷惑を。
And then Gray cuts in. He's like, no, that's the very reason. And then trailed off. He's like, why my boss is so embarrassed, he mumbled afterwards, trailing off again. Because he did everything for the assembly for Nightmare. It translated a little weird there. Alice is like, Blood and Gray are outright socializing right now. She's like, behind the childish sayings, like a couple of mothers and their figure of speech and greeting each other, she trails off. There is some kind of wisdom here, like to be found there. In their conversation.
うちの部下は気が利くだろう。ちゃんと挨拶を忘れない。
Nightmare's like, my subordinates will be sensible too. They'll never forget to say hello.
あんたは忘れるけどな。
Elliot's like, but I forgot you, ...
でも、ブラッドの方が偉いぜ。上司なのに気配りを忘れないんだ。偉大だろう。
He tells Nightmare, though, he's like, but Blood is a great boss. Isn't it great? I mean, he doesn't forget to take care of you, too. Great, huh? Question mark. Nightmare freaks out, because he's, like, supposed to be the authority there at these meetings. He's like,
偉大なのは私だ。私の方が偉い。尊敬されているんだぞ。
He's like, the gray one is me, exclamation mark. I am better. Are you not respecting me, exclamation mark, question?
何言ってるんだ。俺の方が尊敬してる。
Elliot actually tells him, well, what are you talking about, exclamation mark, question? And I think he said, I am actually more respected than you.
いや、私だ。私の方が尊敬されている。
Nightmare's like, no, me. I am more respected, exclamation mark, exclamation mark.
俺だ。俺の方が尊敬しているんだ。
I think this is in reference to, like, how much he respects Blood versus, like, how much respect Nightmare gets on a daily basis. And also, like, the fact that Elliot, too, is respected a little bit more than Nightmare. And so, Nightmare's like, no, me, I am more respected. And Elliot was like, I am more respected. And then Nightmare's like, here, no response. And then you have Gray with no response.
私の方が尊敬されているんだから。私の方が勝っている。
Nightmare's then like, I am better because I am more respected.
いや、俺の方が尊敬しているから俺の勝ちだ。
And he's like, no, I win because we're respected more.
なんてだるい言い合いをしているんだ。面倒な。
Blood cuts in. He's like, what a lousy argument. Troublesome, ... trailing off.
尊敬されているのはナイトメア様の勝ちで、尊敬しているのは3月うさぎの勝ちでいいんじゃないか。
Then Gray cuts in after a long pause. He's like, well, let's have all be respected by Nightmare 7. All be respected by the Rabbit of the March, right? Question mark. So he's like trying to play peacekeeper.
どうでもいい。
Blood's like, I don't care. And then trailed off, ...
俺もだが。
Gray after a long pause is like, I too don't care. And then the event changes again. She's like, somehow Nightmare, Blood, and Elliot are actually becoming excited. She's like, no, is it just rising what's already there? Because she's a bit surprised. She's like, ... which one is it? Question mark. She's like, I was just amazed when it was brought to in front of me. She's like, I was actually dumbfounded by it. It shouldn't be related to my person, this situation, but for me being around it, she's like, it's a complete outsider feeling that she's getting, and then she's like, I don't want to go inside that feeling either. She's like, I don't want to understand what's going on. And she's like, I'm disturbed. And the CGs change again because Nightmare's fighting with Elliot now, and they're both being held back, one by Blood and the other one by Gray. And then there was no reply, and then Elliot bursts in and he's like, I respect Blood more than anyone can. Nightmare's like, no, I am more respected by Gray, exclamation mark. She's like, they're still doing it, ... She's like, Elliot and Nightmare are arguing completely different points. She's like, you can still understand this if there was a dispute between bosses or subordinates on the same level. She's like, but they are subordinates and bosses in different places, parallel lines, and not the same level at all. Gray's like, please stop it, Nightmare, it's not good, and trailed off. Blood actually tells him stop, and then he trailed off, and he's like, you, Elliot, it's unsightly, and then he trailed off again. Elliot's like, now, Blood, exclamation mark, but I admire Blood more, exclamation mark, question, so I'm better than the lizard guy, ... And they're referencing Gray here, like how much he's able to respect Blood versus Gray respecting Nightmare. He's better and rated higher in his mind. He's like, Blood is more respected than Nightmare, and he's much better than Nightmare, ... After a pause, Blood responds, he's like, it doesn't matter to me. Elliot's like, what? How humble. Blood, exclamation mark. Look, Blood is not only great, but also a humble man, exclamation mark, question. He's like, I'm so respectful. Blood is a great, smart, and amazing guy. My respect is absolutely above yours, exclamation mark. Nightmare's like, that's not the case, exclamation mark. I'm more respected, exclamation mark. He's like, Gray respects me more than you, exclamation mark. Hey, Gray, exclamation mark. He actually corrects himself here, but at first he's like, wow, that's right, and trailed off after a couple pauses. And he's like, that's where you say something I can't imitate, likely. And trailed off again. He phrases it more as an obligation to respect him here. He's like, oh, ... I just have to respect ... Well, I may respect you ... And trailed off. But Nightmare's like, look, Gray is more humble about this. And he's like, isn't it great, exclamation mark, question, wow. And then Nightmare can be so dumb. He's proved Elliot's point, and Gray can't back him up here, ... is what I was thinking when I translated it. Elliot's like, if the lizard is humble, well then isn't the lizard the greatest then? and called Nightmare out for Gray being unsure of him and then flipped it on him.
違う。そのグレイに尊敬されている私が偉いんだ。
Nightmare's like, no, I was the one respected by that. And Gray! Exclamation mark.
お前よりずっと偉いんだからな。
He's like, I am much more important than you and your boss are. What? Exclamation mark question to
俺
Elliot.
より偉くてもブラッドよりは偉くない。ブラッドは謙虚で心優しい男なんだ。しかも偉くて賢い。
Elliot's like, better than me, but not greater than Blood! Exclamation mark. Blood is a humble and kind man! Exclamation mark. And he's great and clever! Exclamation mark. So he's just ringing
謙
praises.
虚で心優しく偉くて賢い。
Blood actually gets really upset. He's like gentle, big, and clever, humble, and heartfelt, and trailed off. He's like, that's gross. To himself, probably.
言われて恥ずかしくなるような惨事だな。
Gray actually calls him out for it because he must have looked uncomfortable. He's like, it's a compliment that you're embarrassed to actually hear. ... Commiserating.
というか、誰だそれは。
He's playing dumb because he's like, that's disgusting, Elliot. He's like, or who? Like, who are they talking about? Who is it? ... Trailed off.
さあ。
Gray's like, here we go.
ブラッドの方が偉い。俺の方が尊敬している。
Elliot's like, blood is greater, and I am sure more respected! Exclamation
さあ。
mark.
私の方が尊敬されている。
Nightmare's like, I am more respected! Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark.
より尊敬しているのは3月うさぎで、より尊敬されているのはナイトメア様でいいんじゃないか。
And then Gray's like, March rabbits are more respected as well. Nightmare is more respected. Isn't it okay? Question mark. Because they're, well, it's the March rabbit and then Nightmare is trying to posture against him. So he's like, you guys are on the same level.
それもそれで矛盾しているがな。何でもいいが。
Blood's like, but that's also contradictory. ... And then he's like, anything ... And just trailed off. Didn't say anything.
よくない。俺はブラッドの名誉のために争うぜ。
Elliot's like, not good! Exclamation mark. I fight for Blood's honor! Question mark, exclamation mark.
私は私の名誉のために戦う。
Nightmare cuts in. He's like, I fight for my own honor! Exclamation mark, exclamation mark. And she's like, Alice, I wonder how long this is going to go on with them arguing. ... And then the event changes again. And we'll go on ahead and end it there. Because she's like, Nightmare and Elliot are still doing it.